And today we're talking about how to stop feeling sorry for yourself and start making shit happen. Hi, this is me Ashmita. I welcome you to my channel. I make YouTube videos that help you up level in your life. There are plenty reasons why you can feel sorry about yourself. Maybe you haven't had the job that you always wanted. Maybe you don't have the bank account balance that you desired or the relationship that you wanted. Maybe you're having one heartbreak after another heartbreak. But today I invite you to a whole new possibility. A possibility, a reality where you will no longer need to feel sorry about yourself. A possibility, a reality where you can make shit happen. But you gotta be ready for it. You gotta really sign up for it. If you want to sit there, whine, complain about why things are not going the way you want them to, then you can continue doing that, then stop watching this video. I have been in this situation multiple times where I felt sorry for myself, where I've played the role of a victim, where I've just felt so helpless in my life, not knowing where to go, which direction to take, just not being able to change anything in my life because I felt so deeply hopeless. And I've gone to people for help, literally begging for help and support. And I have blamed other people many times. I've blamed situations, universe, God so many times for my life. I cannot even tell you. And it is something that we all do, don't we? Where we feel that universe is just not supporting us, universe is just not there for us. And no matter how much we're doing, how hard we're working, we are not able to move forward in our lives. And today I'm here to tell you to stop. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. You came here on this earth school for a particular reason. You came here to live this life, not to constantly whine and complain. When you sit there and just constantly whine and say, I don't know why life is not working. I don't know why I keep attracting such men. I don't know why I do so much but I'm still not getting any money. Well, there's a time to complain, to whine, to just let your heart out. There is a time for that, to find a safe space and really cry it out and really talk about all the sufferings in your life and how hard your life is. But then there comes a time, an era, the make shit happen era, where you are ready to finally disidentify yourself from the whiny, complaining, victim-y you and step into the shoes of someone who makes shit happen, who gets off her bed and starts to make real changes in her life. Let me tell you, whining and complaining is a form of cursing yourself. When you're constantly saying things are not happening the way I wanted them to happen, you're cursing yourself. When you're saying I cannot find anybody to love me, you're cursing yourself. Or you move into this denial mode and you say, I don't want any love in my life, man. I think all of this is too complicated for me. All of this is just too much. I can't handle this. I'd much rather stay alone. You're cursing yourself. Well, there are two types of whiny children. One who cry really loudly and start creating a scene. The second ones are the ones who give a silent treatment or they become really bitter and say mean things. We can often start identifying with this inner child who is like really whiny about things not going her way. But then there comes a time to grow up, to become an adult and realize that life always doesn't go your way. There are situations and circumstances that happen in our lives that we cannot control. But there are many things that we can control. We can control how we react and respond to a certain situation. Either we can take the role of a child who is angry and bitter or whiny and complaining or giving a silent treatment to the universe, or we can take the role of the adult who knows that something hasn't happened the way they wanted it to. Their dreams haven't come true in the timeline that they wanted it to. And so we can come to a space of deeper acceptance that this is what's really happening in my life. If I don't want this to happen, then I need to do something different. Isn't it insanity to do something over and over again and expect a different outcome? It is. In order for you to really have a different outcome in your life, you've got to start doing things differently. Do things that you've never done before. Go to places that you've never been before. Talk to people you've never spoken to before. Try out activities that you've never thought of trying before. This will create new neural pathways in your brain, and you can start inviting a new reality in your life and start making shit happen. If you constantly be the same person in this whole dynamic, which is the wounded inner child, you will continue to play this role in your life where you constantly blame others for your life situations, or you'll blame God for not making things happen. Remember this: God helps those who help themselves. If you do not help yourself, if you don't pick yourself up when you're down, if you don't build resilience within you, then even God cannot help you. God can only help you once you decide to change your life for the better, which means including healthy habits in your life, which means creating a different strategy if one strategy isn't working, which means being open to trying out different things, being flexible in your mindset and not having a very fixed mindset, because fixed mindset will lead to fixed results, and a growth mindset where you're willing to try different things, where you're flexible and open to what the universe can offer to you, where you are open to the unknown possibilities in life, that is the mindset that will get you growth, success, freedom from your current challenges and sufferings. There is a time where you sit and cry and whine about how people broke your heart. But if you're constantly doing that over and over again, you are deeply addicted to your pain. You are identifying with your pain. You've become it. You've become equal to the pain. You equal to your pain and suffering. Who are you without it? Nobody knows. Let's take an example of a girl named Rita. Rita has experienced a traumatic childhood in her life. As she grew up, she moved into relationships where she was emotionally abused over and over again in different ways, or either she was cheated upon or she was ghosted upon. And she came to a point where she finally accepted her sufferings, that this is how her life is going to be, that nothing is ever going to change, that this is what she signed up for. It's a life full of suffering and nothing ever changes in her life. She formed this belief that nothing good ever happens in my life. Why should I even try? Why should I even make an effort to change my life? This is how it's going to be. And she would constantly cry and whine about her life to her peers. She also was struggling in her career and had financial issues. She would constantly cry and whine to her friends as to how things are not working out, how her business is not taking off, how nobody around her is really helping her, how she's all alone in this, and how that is how it is supposed to be. When a friend would offer professional support to her, she would say, "That's not something that works for me. Oh, I don't think I have money for this." While if she really needed something like a dress or a new phone, she would find a way to get money for it. But when it came to actually taking therapy, she would feel so broke. So she ended up not accepting help. And as she grew older and older, she became even more bitter. She started blaming others a lot for how her life turned out. She did not have a loving relationship because she did not allow anyone else to come into her life. After having many traumatic attempts, she closed her heart and she realized that love wasn't meant for her. Here she is about to die, all lonely, all bitter. She has a family, but nobody really loves her because she is not pleasant to be around. She's carrying so much resentment, so much guilt, and so many emotions that nobody can really be around her. It feels heavy and draining. Whew, that is a lot. And here we have Madonna. Madonna had a traumatic childhood too. As she grew up, she also moved into relationships that were abusive, where she was not treated well, and she was also not earning well during her 20s. But in her late 20s, she was at the bottom of a pit, in a really dark time of her life, where she really sat down with herself and self-reflected. She understood that the way that her life has been is something that she's not okay with, is something that she cannot accept. She is not here to live a life full of suffering. This cannot be it. This cannot be the life that she chose to live here on earth. There has to be something more. She realized that she no longer wanted to accept more and more sufferings in her life. If there is something that she can change about it, she is ready to change. She understood that whatever has worked till now will no longer work, which means that whatever has worked till now has gotten her to this point, to this dark, bottomless pit. And she can continue to go down in the downward spiral and continue to complain and whine about her life and feel like nothing is in her control and feel helpless. Or she can stop right here and start doing something about her life. which means she started taking control of her life. She started taking responsibility for her life. Yes, her childhood was not in her control. Whatever happened, happened. She understood from a soul level perspective that she chose to experience that in her childhood. She came here on earth with agreement signed to experience those experiences which were sad and traumatic. And the sole reason why she went through that was so that she can learn her lessons through it as she grows up. So she understood that it's now time for her to really grow up and learn the lessons that these repeated patterns are teaching her in her life, because these are karmic patterns that are repeating over and over and over again. If we continue moving through life without the awareness of why they are repeating, and we're constantly into victimhood, then there is no way we could change it. But she understood that if she stops and self-reflects and really ponders upon what's her lesson here, what is this trying to teach her, learn that lesson, she will up level herself, and she will become aware and expand her consciousness that she will no longer have to experience that experience. That means other traumatic, tragic soul contracts would fall away, and new soul contracts will be formed where she can now experience a greater experience in her life. She understood that she is the co-creator of her life, and she can now shift gears, change strategies, change the actions that she's taken. Whatever actions she's taken up until now has gotten her here. In order to expect a different result, she needs to take different actions. Madonna slowly and patiently begins to heal herself. She starts to take out time for her self-care, to love herself and self-reflect. She takes the help that is needed for her to move beyond patterns that were created as she was a little child. She takes an effort to move her body, to eat better, to look better, to dress up better, to also get to know the ways of the earth. How do you achieve success on earth? What actions you need to take to be able to achieve growth and success here? She studies successful people. She understands their habits, and slowly, one day after another, she starts to make changes in her life. She is no longer complaining, whining, but she's taken responsibility of her life, and she's decided to change her life, and her life indeed starts to change, and she starts to attract better opportunities, more expansive opportunities. She opens up to people's support in so many wonderful ways, to possibilities that she never knew existed. She begins to connect with the voice of her heart and follow her heart and do more things that bring her joy. She begins to forgive people from the past, knowing that they did whatever they could with the awareness that they had. And now it's time for her to let go of them, because they taught her an important lesson. She learned it, and now it's time to release them from her life. That is how she starts to heal deeply, increase her capacity to love, and become the Madonna that she really is. She recognizes her power to create her own reality. She recognizes her worth, and as a result of that, she attracts a wonderful man in her life who loves her deeply, and she loves him deeply too. And they come together to create a wonderful family of 2 children. She then sets on to start her own business, and slowly and surely she starts to receive a lot of love, recognition and appreciation for it. And it's the last day of her life, and she feels fulfilled. Her heart is expanded. She is happy for all the wonderful experiences that life gave her. She is deeply grateful. Whatever was served to her as a child was served to her. But she did not let that define the rest of her life. Through her life journey, she always felt the divine support. And as she began to listen to her inner voice more, the support got stronger and louder. And at the end of her life, she recognizes now that she is one with the divine. And she is happy and pleased to merge back with that oneness. What life would you like to live? Would you like to live the life of Rita or of Madonna? It's up to you. Your choices, your karma, your actions define the results of your life. Time for you to stop feeling helpless, hopeless, and start to move on a journey of recovery. Don't stay addicted to your pain. Don't stay addicted to your sufferings. Otherwise, you'll go in the endless downward spiral, in the bottomless pit, and continue to have more and more darkness in your life. Instead, disidentify. You are not one with the suffering, you're one with unconditional love. Recognize your power and start creating changes in your life. Start taking responsibility of your life. Whatever happened, happened. Now, to change what is happening, you got to change the input that you're giving in your life. What you're putting in to certain situations and relationships, that needs to change, and you need to reflect upon that. If you've attracted an abusive relationship once, okay. Twice, okay. But if you continue to attract that, you need to realize that there's an equal role that you're playing in this dynamic. If you continue to attract narcissistic people, remember that you're playing the role of a codependent. That is why you're a match to narcissistic people. Become aware of the shadow parts of you. Become aware of the parts of you where you can change stuff. You can face the aspects of you that are in need of healing and love. And with patience, love, and healing, you will be able to heal and integrate those parts. And that is how you will no longer be a match to relationships that do not serve you. So here's my request to all of you. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and start making shit happen in your life. Start making changes and start opening up to a whole new life, a life filled with greater possibilities. Don't accept your sufferings and identify with them. Identify with the part of you that is the co-creator. Identify with the part of you that is powerful and worthy. Identify with the part of you that is the Madonna. Sending you all so much love. Thank you for watching this video with me today. I hope that you resonated with it. If you did, comment below and let me know how you felt about it. And do like, share, and subscribe.